onto this small revolving sphere, to love and hurt and skirt between courage and fear. So go for status quo or keep evolving here. A final judgment comes among your peers. So don't forget, rich folks are a dime a dozen, rich folks are a dime a dozen, rich folks a dime a dozen. Rich folks are a dime a dozen, rich folks are a dime a dozen, rich folks a dime a dozen.
Will you make any changes in the approach or any review or anything in light of the lawsuit? I'm not realizing that you haven't had a chance to read it yet.
I mean, we may end up taking a look at the ordinance and the language in the ordinance to make sure it's worded, you know, to what we hope to achieve, and that's to make it safe out there for anyone that does want to solicit work. Okay, that they do it safely, and for the motorists so they're not distracted. So we will take a look at the language. Again, that's not up to me to decide how we word the ordinance, but I'm sure in light of it, we'll take another look at it. It may end up being just fine the way it is. We don't know that yet at this point, but we will probably take a look at it. It's always good to review those if it hasn't been reviewed in a number of years, and I think the last date I saw in there was maybe 2004. So it might be time again, you know, 6 years later now, to take another look at it, just to make sure that it still says what we want it to say and has a desired effect. I'd also point out that after the operation, I met with some of the ecclesiastical leaders and nonprofits in the community, and they expressed a desire to help us. So what we did was provided them information, and they have gone out and met with the day laborers to tell them this is how you need to do it, this is what the law allows, this is what's a violation of the law. So we're working with the community, that segment of the community, to allow them to go about soliciting work appropriately.
And you're aware then that they've established kind of a I don't know, official, unofficial area there on Newport Boulevard, where they're following a set of rules and so on.
And as long as they follow the rules, then they're fine. As I said, we had 2 locations that day where there were no violations. Okay. And maybe the people there had been contacted already and knew what the guidelines were, and because we've been out there speaking to people and telling them what they can and cannot do. So
yeah, okay.
Are you interested?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on?
We're looking for work.
Looking for work?
Yes.
So you're standing out here with signs and you're asking for work?
Yes. It's a public sidewalk.
Okay. So do you know we have a municipal ordinance that prohibits that?
It's a public sidewalk.
Okay. Are you flagging people down and asking for work?
No, we had the signs.
Do you know what our municipal code says?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of it?
No.
Then recite to me what it says. What are you allowed to do?
We're not allowed to wave signs. We're just allowed to stay here and just show the signs, and that's it.
And solicit for work. And you think that's okay for our municipal code? Do you think that you're legally able to do that?
Okay, am I doing something illegal?
That's what I'm asking you. Do you know the municipal code?
Are we doing something illegal?
You can be, yes.
No, we're okay.
What you're doing.
All we're doing here is sitting here.
Yeah.
Standing here with the sign.
Soliciting for work, right?
We're standing with the sign looking for work.
Okay. Do you have ID?
Yes, I have ID.
Can I see it, please?
Yes. Out of the camera.
We got a complaint that you guys are walking out into the street. See what you're doing here? You're blocking the sidewalk? That's illegal.
You guys are walking in the street? Not you. How about any of your people?
No, we told me, you know the rules.
So what are the rules?
The rules is just sit here and just and look. Just look for work. No.
So you're the organizer of this?
Yes, I am.
All right. How long are you gonna be out here?
So 11.
Okay. How do you pronounce your last name? Worse than one. Why do you choose here? Why do you choose to be here?
Because that's what we decided.
You guys with any organization? Can I have this? Okay, just make sure you're not out in the street because of the traffic jam, okay? Alright.
It was a tough fit, and we had an answer like that.
My grandma, she's dead now, but she had an aneurysm back in the day, and they did surgery, and in time saved her life. But they didn't know, she was still under anesthesia, they didn't know what the effects would have of going and filling around the brain back in the day.
How long you been doing this job?
This one?
Yeah.
About 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
She's going to lose 100%. We just don't know which one.
How often do you work? You work every day, or?
What I'm doing, sometimes it matters, sometimes it not.
Yeah, like every week sometimes? Yeah. You ever had the police come and bother you for doing this or say you can't do it or anything? Not yet. Have you ever had the police tell you you can't do this or anything, or bother you in any way? How long have you been doing it? A few months. Yeah. How many hours a day do you get out of it?
8 hours.
8 hours. So how often do you do this?
Like on the weekends?
On the weekends?
Yeah.
But how many hours a week do you get?
Like 5, right?
5 hours.
5? And your job basically is to stand there and you got to twirl to keep it moving?
Yeah.
And have you ever, how long have you been doing it?
I've been working for 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Have you ever, in any of those years, any time, has the police ever stopped and said, you can't stand here twirling the sign? Never did that? They never had that happen to you either?
Just, what is it called? Code enforcement?
The what?
Code enforcement? Just them.
And what did they say?
Oh, they just take you off the corner.
Oh, and they said that you can't twirl the sign?
Yeah, it's on certain corners though. Like,
Just on certain corners? And they said it's okay on other corners?
I guess.
So, but you never had even code enforcement come out? That's you? Are you aware that there's a city ordinance that says that you can't stand on a sidewalk twirling the sign like you guys have been doing? I'm not saying one way or the other what you should do. I'm just asking if you're informed of that. No one ever brought that to your attention or anything. And same with you, except for when they told you to move. What was their reason exactly? You remember?
I didn't say anything. They just said that I couldn't do that there, and they
Just couldn't do it there.
Yeah. No, they just tried to kick me off, and like I don't know. They just told me to leave.
Yeah. And how many years you've been doing it too?
Just like 1.
1 year? Okay.
Time will pass and then at last you will depart. Nobody knows if that's the end or just the start. So when you look and trace the ways you played your part, it's all in what you leave in people's hearts. So just remember, rich folks are a dime a dozen, rich folks are a dime a dozen, rich folks a dime a dozen. Rich folks are a dime a dozen, rich folks are a dime a dozen, rich folks a dime a dozen.